Because while Alex Pereira appears as confident as ever heading into a potential showdown with Ciryl Gane, there is a growing feeling throughout the MMA community that this fight may be far more complicated than people originally expected. On the surface, it looks like another opportunity for Pereira to continue his remarkable run through combat sports, add another huge name to his resume, and move one step closer to even bigger fights in the heavyweight division. Yet the deeper fans dig into the matchup, the more they keep running into a question that nobody seems completely comfortable answering. What if Ciryl Gane is exactly the type of fighter Pereira doesn't want to face right now?
Talk to me about Ciryl Gane, Alex Pereira.
First of all, Alex Pereira is an absolute generational talent. If he wins this fight, even though it's an interim title, it'll be the first person ever to win 3 different weights, which is unbelievable. He carries a lot of power at light, heavy and middle, but he's also fighting a lot smaller guys. A big factor of why he's knocking these guys out is because he's a lot bigger than him. Ciryl Gane is a massive heavyweight who moves a lot. So stylistically, I think it's a good matchup for Gane.
Which way are you going?
I would say Gane by points. I want revenge, of course.
It's going to be stand-up war. Ain't nobody doing any shot.
Alex Pereira versus Ciryl Gane.
Alex Pereira is a big boy. I just saw him in Seattle. I mean, I saw him jump on the scale, 242. Drama. Obviously, Ciryl Gane has great movement. You saw what he did to Tom Aspinall. He was popping in with the jab. You know, Alex Pereira does have that calf kick that he loves to throw every single time to stop everybody's movement. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how Ciryl Gane does with the pressure that Alex Pereira brings. It's going to be stand-up war. Ain't nobody doing any shot.
That possibility has become a major talking point after Pereira appeared to send a confident warning in Gane's direction, with many fans interpreting it as another sign that Poatan believes he is about to walk through yet another opponent. Given everything Pereira has achieved, it's easy to understand where that confidence comes from. Over the last few years, he has built a reputation for doing the impossible, turning doubt into motivation and turning supposedly dangerous challenges into career-defining moments. Every time critics become convinced they've identified the blueprint to beat him, Pereira somehow finds a way to remind the world why he remains one of the most feared fighters in the entire sport. What makes this situation different is that the concerns surrounding Gane aren't really based on power, toughness, or even championship experience. Instead, they revolve around style, and in combat, sports style has always been one of the most important factors when predicting how a fight could unfold. Gane isn't the type of heavyweight who willingly stands in front of opponents looking for a firefight. His entire approach revolves around movement, timing, patience, and making elite fighters look uncomfortable. Rather than giving opponents the exchanges they want, he often forces them into a slower and far more frustrating fight than they originally planned for.
Did he feel and look like a heavyweight when you stood opposite him?
Yeah, he looked really like an heavyweight, and he's not a surprise, because that's really interesting what I say, guys. Listen, we did already a face-off there 2 or 3 years ago. He came to France, in Paris, in RS. It was a pleasure to have him. And I knew already it's going to be big. It was already big. And the real question is how he did to make the weight for the middleweight. This is the real question.
Ciryl, do you feel that Alex Pereira is a tougher fight for you than Tom Aspinall was?
Completely different fight. Like Alex Pereira is a beautiful striker, one of the best in the UFC. I think Thomas Minal is more well-rounded with a different skill. It's going to be completely different. Like I fought already some huge guy, huge champion, but it's going to be completely different than Tom.
It's going to be an interesting fight, though. I think Alex Pereira is very tough. He's big enough. He's a heavyweight. But in this scenario, the position shifted a little bit because Ciryl Gane here come more with a strategy of a lighter person because he moves a lot. He's fast and this. And I think Alex Pereira will be like more stiff, stable, and strong, solid. Ciryl will be more fast, moving around, as is his technique. He's good at that. And then it's going to be very difficult to Alex Pereira to even get close to the distance to figure out what he can do to close that distance, which Ciryl will be managing very good to keep the distance, pick apart, get him frustrated. He's good at that. So I think he's a very good matchup for Ciryl.
That's where things become very interesting. Pereira is at his absolute best when he can slowly apply pressure, establish his preferred range, and begin narrowing the options available to the fighter standing across from him. It's one of the reasons his knockout power feels so devastating. Opponents aren't just dealing with dangerous punches, they're dealing with a fighter who is constantly positioning himself to create opportunities while removing their ability to escape from them. Before they realize it, they're fighting Pereira's fight instead of their own. The challenge facing Gane is obvious, the challenge facing Pereira may be far less obvious. If Gane can maintain his movement, avoid prolonged exchanges, and consistently force Pereira to reset, he could create the kind of uncomfortable fight that rarely exists in Pereira's career. That's why fighters like Tom Aspinall have openly suggested that Gane may present more problems than many fans realize. It's not necessarily about who has better striking credentials or who carries more power. It's about whether Gane can disrupt the rhythm that has allowed Pereira to become such a dangerous force. Of course, believing that and proving it are two completely different things. One of the reasons Pereira has become such a massive star is because countless opponents have entered fights carrying advantages on paper before discovering that none of those advantages mattered once the action actually began. Throughout his UFC run, there has been a recurring pattern where discussions surrounding technical weaknesses, stylistic concerns, and difficult matchups dominate the build-up to a fight, only for Pereira to land something big and completely change the conversation within a matter of seconds.
He can grapple a little bit, but that's not what he wants to do. He wants to knock and head into the bleachers. I was like, this fucking guy's terrifying. He was just different. He was just different. Like, the power was different. The style was different. It's a weird style. Hands down, weird movement, like but super technical, man. Like, confusing. Like, you see him, you say, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He just hits hard. Negative, incorrect, completely unique style, very technical, and very well thought out. He's got solutions to everything. He was showing me and DC how he checks leg kicks, and we had a conversation about it. Can we talk about this? Can we tell people this?
What do you say?
No, me and DC did. Like, I don't know. We decided. I don't think we should tell people.
Yeah.
He's got a special way that he checks leg kicks.
Yep.
Was different than everybody else's. He's got a whole strategy behind it. We were like, oh shit. So he was showing us. So we're at the mothership. Me and DC and Alex Pereira. And Alex Pereira's kicking our legs, and he's showing us how to check. He's showing us how he checks and what he does to follow up check. He's got a system of it. His hands are as big as a fucking watermelon.
Really?
His hands are giant, man. He's got this weird frame. Dudes with big hands have crazy power. Like Tony Ferguson. Ferguson has big ass hands. And if you look at Pereira, he's like this long arms, these big giant fucking hammers at the end of his wrists. He's different, man.
I can see Gane eye poking Pereira and Pereira doing, you know, the Jamal Hill thing where he calls off the ref and then sleep Ciryl Gane on the White House card.
Alex Pereira's opportunity to become a 3-time world champ against Ciryl Gane.
Ciryl Gane, people are talking about this. The infinite title shot glitch. He's back again.
I don't know. So, hey, Ciryl Gane looked good in that fight against Tom. Cyryl's going to be hard to knock out in the first round because he does stick and move. He's not going to sit there and trade with Pereira. He's going to jab. He's going to move. He bounces around, like you said, a light guy. It's going to be interesting.
That reality hangs over this matchup like a shadow. No matter how disciplined Gane remains, no matter how intelligent his game plan looks, and no matter how successful he is during certain portions of the fight, everybody understands the danger that exists every second Pereira remains standing in front of him. Very few fighters in the sport possess the ability to alter a fight with a single moment the way Pereira can, which means there is pressure attached to every exchange, every mistake, and every decision made inside the cage. What makes the situation even more fascinating is the impact this fight could have on the future of the heavyweight division. A victory for Pereira would immediately create massive conversations surrounding his championship ambitions, his legacy, and the possibility of future super fights involving names like Tom Aspinall. Suddenly, a fighter who already accomplished more than most athletes could dream of would find himself moving even closer toward another historic achievement.
But I mean, Ciryl Gane, who's 6'5", 247 pounds, moves like a 170-pounder. It's crazy. He's bouncing like Wonder Boy, like bouncing like this the entire fight, bouncing, throwing feints, like completely changed the standard of heavyweight striking. And I'm not exaggerating. I watched it 3 times. I watched it today. In fact, I watched it in the gym today while I was working out.
So better than like in Gane in terms of movement, in terms of he's like the best moving heavyweight.
There's no question. He is the best moving heavyweight I've ever seen. No question. The best moving. Did you hear what Mark Goddard said to me in the fight after he fought Khalil Roundtree? Mark Goddard came up to me and goes, mate, the sound it makes when he hits them is ungodly. He goes, I've been doing this for 20 years. He goes, the sound he makes is just different. It's ungodly.
I think that fight's going to be a sick fucking fight, dude. Head of the way. Saw him shadow box him. His punches look heavy. But I don't think Gane's going to be there to be hit. Gane's not going to sit there and be hit. He's going to stick and move, and it's going to be a tricky fight.
With Gane, the opportunity may be just as significant. Despite spending years near the top of the heavyweight division, there remains a feeling among some fans that his career is still missing that one signature moment capable of changing everything. Defeating Pereira on a stage as enormous as the White House card wouldn't simply be another win. It would be a career-changing statement capable of completely reshaping how people view him moving forward.
Because I haven't seen any interviews where Tom has talked about sitting back and seeing who his next opponent is. It's either going to be Ciryl, the guy that poked me in the eye, or it's going to be Pereira, who's going to find out he's too small, right? I mean, like, there's an angle to go, but I just haven't heard him speak about either. And so I asked Pereira about that. Hey, Aspinall isn't really focused on this fight like I would think a guy would be whose next opponent is going to be produced from this fight. As a matter of fact, I told Pierre this. I just saw an interview where Tom was talking about Brock Lesnar. He didn't mention you guys at all. Do you think he plans to compete with you next if you win? And Pierre said no. Pierre said no. And he said that what he's hearing behind the scenes is that Tom's injury isn't going to be healed quickly. And so Pierre just spoke about himself and said, as soon as I am done, I'm going to want to compete again. I maintain a real fighter schedule, 3 fights a year, no matter what. I'm going to expect the organization honor their side and find somebody. And he said, no, I do not believe that Tom will be turned around by end of summer, early winter, and able to do that. It was just an interesting comment. It was interesting because it didn't build towards that fight at all. And it does, of course, make me wonder right away, well, if you're not going to fight Tom, who are you going to fight?
Who do you think is going to win between Alex and Gane?
Ooh, let the better win. But I believe Alex can do that. When I saw him, like, his weight is going up. He's strong enough to, and in a stand-up, I believe he will be better. But Gane is a lot of movement.
Who do you want to fight next after this one?
Let's be focused for the next week. That's the problem of many fighters, when they think too much earlier.
But who is the contender, the next contender? Real alive?
I really don't care.
You have a very soothing voice.
Thank you, thanks.
10 grand, Alex Pereira versus Ciryl Gane.
I think that's a tough fight for Alex. I'm a massive Alex fan just because of what he's done with his career and how he's moved up. But Ciryl Gane's really good at controlling distance. He's got real good footwork for a big guy. He's got great reach. I don't think he stays there and gets caught with a big left hook from Pereira. So that one's a toss-up for me. I'm rooting for Pereira, but I think Ciryl Gane might be able to get it done.
Alex Pereira versus Ciryl Gane, I would love to see it. But Ciryl Gane hits very hard as well. And he is a heavyweight and he is light on the feet. And he's probably a better striker than anyone he fought in the light heavyweight division. Israel Adesanya at middleweight, very, very good striker. But a middleweight, not a big heavyweight like Ciryl Gane.
What does it look like on the feet?
I don't want to say like it's going to be 100% a striking matchup. Like, this is MMA. And everybody know I can do also some wrestling, some takedowns, some stuff like that. I can finish the fight also on the ground. So I'm not going to say 100% is going to be a striking matchup.
What does your striking do when it faces a guy like Alex Pereira? How do you use it to your benefit?
Everybody know already, like, I love to manage my distance. I love to move very well. I love to touch and never get touched. This is my style, the Bungaman style, like the people say.
Interim title fight at heavyweight with Alex Pereira and Ciryl Gane. I guess reading into that, does that mean there's really no update on when Tom Aspinall will be back? And have you checked in with Eddie Hearn, I guess, an update?
Yeah, Tom, obviously won't be ready for the White House fight, so that's why it's an interim title fight.
You've been asked about Alex Pereira going to heavyweight for years at this point. You've kind of had mixed feelings on it. Why did you guys ultimately feel like this was the right time for him?
Alex Pereira is this guy that he wants to fight everybody, every single weekend. He's one of the most unique guys we've ever dealt with. And, we all agreed that if this is what he wants to do, he deserves it.
That's why this fight feels so important. Beneath the headlines, beneath the predictions, and beneath the endless social media debates sits a matchup that feels genuinely difficult to solve.
Sure, Ted, are you okay with that?
Well, what else are they going to do? Who else is knocking around in the heavyweight division? What other matchup are they going to do? It's difficult to say because Pereira's never fought heavyweight before, so you can definitely win the fight. Could go either way.
Do you have a preference?
Who wins?
Yeah.
I'd like to fight both of them. Both would be fantastic.
Initially, I would have said, I don't want them to waste the Gane Aspinall fight, but I feel like now it will only raise whatever fight you're coming back to.
You better get that money ready.
What do you make of Alex Pereira talking about becoming a 3 divisions, trying to take that belt from you? Would you entertain that?
Well, listen to this, right? We're in New York. We obviously fought on the same card, me and him. Never met him before, never. Quite frosty when I met him. And I don't know him personally. I didn't know if he was just like that. We did the press conference. We sat next to each other. He was literally, I was here, he was there. Got off the press conference, and my dad said, how was it? I said, you know Alex Pereira? He said, yeah. said, he thinks he can beat me, you know. And my dad was like, what do you mean? I don't know, I can just tell. Mate, he wasn't posturing, he wasn't like trying to intimidate me or nothing. I just felt like he had in his mind, maybe I'm just making it up, I have no idea, but I've never done it with anyone before, and I'm not like that insecure guy being like, he's trying to fight me. I'm not like that at all. When I heard that he wants to move up to heavyweight, I wasn't surprised. I felt like he was like sizing me up a little bit.
That Dana White thought that he should have been awarded the victory. Ciryl Gane, coming off of this, losing the fight but winning the decision, went into a title fight against Tom, which is what is leading him to the doors of the White House now. All opportunities that in theory could have gone to Volkov. So for Volkov to speak up and find a way to insert himself, that's great. I appreciate it. Volkov telling us what's happening was strange to me. It was strange that Volkov was promoting a fight, saying it is not a real title fight. That if Pereira wins, there's a story there because he gets a third belt, a third different weight class. And if Ciryl wins, he gets the belt because they're fighting over it, but it still leads him to Tom. Like, you're kind of just looking around and going, yeah, Volkov, I know that. Do you have anything to add? Do you have anything at all as a heavyweight in this division to add for me? Do you know some training footage? Have you heard how Ciryl's been looking in the room? Do you know what Pereira is going to weigh? He's going to come in at an all-time high. Is that weight going to help him or hurt him? Share with us as a fellow tall, long, and lanky heavyweight who favors striking. What should we expect from Pereira? A long, lanky heavyweight who favors striking. Where do you see yourself? You just said that the winner of this fight, which is not a real fight, goes against Tom. So now you've taken your own opportunity in your own division and you've kicked the can to roughly 2027. You just said that whoever wins this fight, even though it's not a true championship, is the one that will then get to go and fight for the true championship. I would only offer for you. What did you get out of that? You certainly didn't make any friends. That's fine. This is the fight business. We don't have to make friends. But you certainly didn't make any friends. You said that the UFC's product was poor. You said that Alex or Ciryl, whoever wins, doesn't actually win anything.
Pereira's supporters see another knockout waiting to happen. Gane's supporters see a stylistic puzzle unlike anything Pereira has encountered before. Both sides believe they're right, and the closer the fight gets, the louder those arguments seem to become. Maybe Pereira is right when he says Gane has no chance. The uncertainty surrounding this fight has become impossible to ignore, and whenever a matchup carries this much pressure, this much intrigue, and this many potential consequences for the future of the division, there's usually a very good chance that something special is about to happen.
I picked against Alex Pereira when he fought Magomed Ankalaev the second time, and now he's fighting Ciryl Gane, and I'm probably going to pick against him. I'm probably going to do that.
I would, yeah, man. I kind of agree with you on that one with Pereira and Gane. I just think if for being up another weight class, that power. I know it transfers. I know he's a big boy now, but Ciryl Gane can strike with any heavyweight.
I believe Alex can do that. Alex can do that, especially how I saw them. I saw when I saw him, like his weight is going up. And he's strong enough to and in a stand-up, I believe he will be better. But Gane is a lot of movement, for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't hate that one. Gane versus Pereira. I think it's fun. I think it's a good stand-up fight. I do think Pereira will maybe struggle with the size, but
Pereira is the favorite, man.
I know.
You agree?
I don't know. That's I mean, the odds are close, right? So it's only a slight favorite. Yep. I don't know if I would agree with that.
Alex is big at heavyweight, bro.
I know, he looks big.
Yeah, man. I seen him at the press conference, man. He's big. I think he wins this fight.
Yeah.
I think he beats Gane.
And maybe that's the most fascinating part of this entire situation. The closer this fight gets, the less it feels like a predictable matchup, and the more it starts feeling like one of those rare moments where the entire MMA community is split right down the middle. On one side, you have fans looking at Alex Pereira's track record and wondering how anybody could possibly pick against a man who has spent the last few years turning impossible situations into highlight reels. On the other side, you have people looking at Ciryl Gane's style and quietly believing he may possess the exact tools needed to create a very uncomfortable night for one of the UFC's biggest stars. What's certain is that neither man can afford a setback right now. Pereira has the opportunity to move one step closer toward an even bigger future at heavyweight, while Gane has a chance to completely change the narrative surrounding his career and remind everyone why he was once viewed as the future of the division. That's what makes every prediction feel so important and every debate feel so intense, because the outcome doesn't just affect one fight. It could influence the direction of the heavyweight division for years to come. The scary part is that both arguments make sense. Maybe Pereira eventually finds the shot that changes everything. Maybe Gane's movement and discipline frustrate him for 25 minutes. Maybe the fight plays out exactly how fans expect. Or maybe we're all missing something. And if there's one thing we've learned throughout the history of this sport, it's that the fights everyone thinks they understand are often the fights that end up shocking the entire world. So let me know down below who you've got winning this fight and why, because the closer we get to fight night, the more this matchup feels like one of the biggest question marks on the entire UFC White House card.